let me love you.
Hey you guys, it's Midnight here back for another video, and today I wanted to do a review for the 2024 K-drama Hierarchy. Now before I get into this video, I do want to do a quick disclaimer that if you have not yet watched this show, I do suggest you watching this show before you watch this video. So if you haven't watched it, please click off and watch the show before you, of course, watch this video. So there will be a lot of spoilers in here, as you guys are probably, of course, not surprised. And also, too, I want to apologize for the fact that I'm going to, of course, butcher these names. So let's get into it. Jooshin High School is the most prestigious school in South Korea. The school was established by the conglomerate Jooshin Group. Normally, only students that are chosen at birth to attend Jooshin High School are allowed. Those students include Jung Jae-I, played by Roh Jeong-Eui, who is the first daughter of the family that runs Jaeyool Group; Kim Ri-an, as played as Kim Jae-Won, who is the successor of the Jooshin Group; Yoon He-Ra, played by Hye-Won, who is the youngest daughter of the trading company International Yoon; and Lee Woo-Jin, played by Lee Won-Jung, who is the second son of a powerful political family. Meanwhile, Kang Ha, who is played by Lee Jae-Min, is transferred to Jooshin High School. He possesses a pure and innocent smile, but he holds a secret. Due to him, the concrete world of Jooshin High School begins to crack. Starting off with the characters, you have Roh Jeong-Eui as Jung Jae-I. I didn't like her character at first. I was hesitant because she seemed like a weak female protagonist, considering that she let Ryan speak to her any type of way. However, all of this changed when she stood up to Ryan in order to protect Kang Ha. Also, she seemed more lively when she was dating him, since he brought out the good in her from the abuse that she went through at home at the hands of her family, her father, and even being threatened from an anonymous person. Next is Lee Jae-Min as Kang Ha. I loved his character. He was beautifully written. I enjoyed how he came off as someone who knew more than what he let on, and how they took this approach when it came down to his revenge. I enjoyed how snarky he was until he got serious and started showing his true colors. He even had everyone flabbergasted on who he really was. On the other hand, he really cared for Jae as well as the other scholarship students. Next is Kim Jae-Won as Kim Ryan. I hated his character since he talked to Jae like trash and he acted like she was his property. However, I felt bad for him considering that his mother put so much pressure on him as he's the only child and male of the household. I'm glad that Kang Ha was able to talk some sense into him as well as Chae and made him change his behavior. Also, he realized the role that he played in In-han's death and took it upon himself to apologize to Kang Ha for everything. Then you have Hye-Won as Yoon He-Ra. I could not stand her. I don't like girls who are not a girl's girl. I understand that she felt I understand that she felt second fiddle to Jae, but it was weird that she was trying to hook up with Ryan, who is her best friend's boyfriend. Not to mention, she didn't necessarily want him, but more so the status that came with being with him, as the other students were bowing to her when she succeeded in getting Ryan to go with her plan to pretend to hook up with her in order to make Jae jealous. Also, she is so oblivious to her desire for things that she can't have, and Woo-Jin is the only one that can see it, and she tries to normalize this negative aspect to herself. In the end, I still don't like her, even though she mends her relationship with Jae. Again, she advises Woo-Jin to not tell Jae that he was the one who told her dad about the pregnancy, which is why she had to move to New York. Moving on, you have Lee Won-Jung as Lee Woo-Jin. Y'all had me with the edits of this man. He is nice to look at and all. I must admit. Also, him and Hye-Ra do make a good couple. They are a match made in hell. First off, this man was deep in the mess. I don't know if I can say that I like or hate him because he knew when to stay out of mess, especially Jae-I and Ryan's feud. However, it was shocking revealing his role in In-han's death. He was really good at removing himself in the situation and keeping things under wraps. And last but not least is Byung So Yeon as Han Ji-soo. Of course, I did not like her at all because it was obvious her relationship with Woo-Jin. However, I did not like how she was trying to live out her fantasy with being with him. It was as if she wanted to be like the elite students, hence why she was looking down on Jae-I for being with Kang Ha. Also, it was disgusting her conversation with the other teachers while they were complaining about the other elite students. She was taking up for Woo-Jin, which was also telling that they had something going on with each other. Now, moving on to the plot slash storyline. Even though this show got many criticisms, I have to say that it wasn't as bad. It wasn't a bad show as many made it out to be. As many of you know, I like to stay away from spoilers and other personal opinions so that my own opinions don't get influenced. However, I have to say that I actually like this show and the criticism was definitely unwarranted. Number one is the elite comparisons. I understand why many viewers compare this to the Spanish series Elite. However, there was some distinct differences between the two shows. For starters, Elite and Hierarchy have the same premise in the sense that it starts off with a group of pretentious wealthy teens that have secrets slash a bunch of baggage while also being led by a group of students who are less fortunate to turn the school around. In contrast, Elite is a mystery series, not a revenge show like Hierarchy. The main plot point in Hierarchy is the main male lead who is related to the victim wanting to seek revenge for the victim's death. I generally think many viewers went into this thinking it was going to be like Elite and was disappointed because it didn't. Also, I think that what also doesn't help is that many came into this series with an expectation. Also, try to enter a show slash series with no expectation so you won't be disappointed and it would help judge a series fairly without biases. Next is the revenge slash consequences. This was another criticism that many had as well. I think that viewers had their own idea of what both revenge and consequences was. When it came to revenge, I enjoyed that they didn't take the typical idea of what revenge is because revenge can look different depending on the situation and the person. Kang Ha's revenge wasn't physically harming anyone, but trying to hold the criminals accountable for their actions. Also, because of this, it is what led to him changing the school and students in a positive way. Second is the consequences. I would argue that there was a form of consequences for everyone. For example, Jae. She was in a platonic relationship with Inhan. This is a result in Ryan's jealousy as he decided to bully Inhan because of it, and Jae perpetuates this abuse since she didn't do anything to stop it or break up with Ryan until it was too late. When everything blows up, she gets threatened for his death. Also, a video is leaked of her and Ryan getting it on, and her pregnancy is revealed. This results in her abusive father sending her to New York since she has now ruined her image. I think viewers have to understand that in reality, not many get punished for the crimes or wrongdoings that they commit. However, this was fair in my opinion, considering that they are wealthy and all it took was them just using their power and wealth to buy themselves out of the situation, which by the way happens in real life. So I think it was more fitting that they all realized their wrongdoings and it was revealed to the public. Next is the themes. I enjoyed all the messaging that came from this series. There were so many things that had me thinking about our society, no matter where we lived or what our culture was. I was deeply touched by when Kang Ha and Ryan finally addressed the elephant in the room. Ryan apologized for his role in Inhan's death. He realized that if it wasn't for his extensive bullying, then Inhan would have been alive and well. This really shows how deep bullying is and how harmful it can be since it can grow and get out of control. Considering that many associated Ryan to the death of Inhan whenever a scholarship student was acting out and they constantly tied him to it. Also, I relished in the fact that Kang Ha didn't accept his apology. I think we need to start normalizing not being so forgiving. In this situation, Kang Ha would never be able to get his brother back. Not to mention that he did die in such a gruesome death, as he didn't just get hit by a car, but also punctured by a foreign object as well. And last but not least is Jae-I and Kang Ha's relationship. I know some were probably unhappy with them not being end goal, but I think everything made sense. They both come from two different worlds, and there was no way that they could have been together considering how abusive Jae-I's father is and how he is obsessed with his family's reputation. Even though she got back with Ryan, you can still feel the love that she has for Kang Ha and the love that he has for her. I think that if she could be with him, she would. If there's a season two, I would love to see them together just as much as the next person. In conclusion, this is a good series and I enjoyed it. I was hooked from the first episode and I would have binged it in one day if I didn't have to work. If you haven't watched this show, I would definitely give it a watch or even a rewatch if it and I think it was also misunderstood. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please do subscribe and please hit that bell notification for more uploads from me.